another episode of Mommy Needs a Break, because, you know, not all of us moms have it together. And that's what this podcast is for. No judgment, all right? I'm Megan Thomas at Meg Scoop all over the internet.
And I'm Marisa Johnson. She is Marisa J on Instagram and Twitter.
And make sure you follow our podcast. It's at MNAB Podcast on your social media. And you see this lovely red lip over here. I love this woman. She is the reason why Mav came to this earth so beautifully and healthy. She is a doula. She's a mother. She's just extraordinary. Y'all give it up for Andrey Lemon. Yes, Andrey is great. Okay, so all of your doula questions, we'll answer those today.
Yes, but before we get into that, our first segment is called Ain't No Shame. It's basically our no judgment free zone where we have no shame.
Yes.
So today, mine is ain't no shame in not waxing your vagina for over a year. Just letting it go. Just letting it hang.
I mean, sometimes you gotta.
I was really on it like my whole life.
But you weren't itchy?
Yeah.
It gets itchy.
Yeah, I hate hair. It's just a lot, it's a lot. And then I did it all the way up to the week before I had the baby. And then after that, it was just like, I tried. I would take her to my appointments. She'd be in there crying while I'm doing my thing. Right. And then it was just like a whole point of like, because I don't like shaving it. So I just was like, I'm just going to let it
natural.
Go. But I went last month. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. It's too much. And when I tell you the torture of not maintaining a wax is insane. Like I thought it was death.
You go back.
I was sweating. I mean, she said I did good, but it was just like, I will never do this again. I don't care how busy I get. I don't care how lazy I am going to maintain this.
You know what's crazy? I did the same thing, except for I decided I was gonna go get a sugar ring a month before Mav was born, and I don't know why I thought that was a perfect time to start getting waxes over, because I hadn't got them in years. I was like, I'm gonna get it because then I just want to wax her before the baby comes. Let me tell you, it hurt so bad. And I was like, I don't remember the pain being like this. It hurt so bad that when Matt was born, right before he was born, I was like, forget it. I'm not going back. I just had everything was. No, I haven't been vaccinated. It's full grown.
That was my decision to never do. I remember the last time I was on the table, I said, this is a man's idea. This makes no sense. Yeah, it was torture. Yeah, so I decided, no, I'm cool. I'm cool on the waxing.
Like once you do it, it doesn't hurt to me.
Right, but the initial
pain is I was just like, what is this?
And then it also felt weird to me because I felt like a little girl.
Yeah.
So then I always then I felt awkward about the people who liked it.
Oh yeah, like do you have some weird perversion?
That is interesting. Yeah, he's never said anything. I don't think he doesn't care.
Your husband's like whatever.
No. It's like
he didn't say anything to you about when you didn't wax either for the year. He never went like, I gotta get in here.
No. Nothing.
Your husband is not picky at all. Good for you.
He's very low maintenance. I think we're both low maintenance. But with me, it's preference because I don't like hair. It's just
that's how I am.
So much hair and it just like a fresh wax just feels so clean and your butt and everything.
Get in there. Get on it. Okay, well there ain't no shame in drinking your child's juice boxes, but I will say it looks so terrible to see an adult hold on to a little honest juice box drinking it. And I know they're good, but I caught a glimpse of myself walking I walked past the mirror and looked and saw myself drinking a juice box, and I was like, this looks terrible. An adult drinking a juice box does not go, but I be doing it.
Great, the honest lemonade, lemonade.
Probably leave those for the kids.
I bought it.
Next time you drink it, look at yourself in the mirror, and then you'll be like, I probably shouldn't do this anymore.
That's funny.
Do you have any ain't no shame?
I think ain't no shame in letting your daughter or your kid have a brownie and ice cream for breakfast.
Ooh, yes.
You gotta do it sometimes.
Yes. Why not?
Wait, how often is too bad though?
I mean, I'm never gonna judge anybody for the way they raise their children, but I've done it a few times. She scored Eggos with ice cream.
Oh, that's actually a good idea.
I little cookies in the morning in the car so she won't cry.
I barely give Mav any. I think I need to let up too, because my fiance is just like, you're so strict with what he eats. It's because I have been overweight a large portion of my life, and so I'm so very he doesn't need that sugar. Why would you give him sugar? To everybody.
Yeah, I'm like that too.
But I think that's valid. salad.
Yeah.
Sugar is
Right.
poison.
Right.
It's not good for us.
Yeah.
I know, but he doesn't even he eats healthy most of the time, and so I can let up every now and then.
Yeah.
Like I did for his first birthday, I let him do a regular cake because I was researching like what is the best like sugar-free gluten cake I can
watermelon.
make.
Sugar-free.
I know.
There was this vegan mom I watched. She cuts up a watermelon into the shape of a cake and puts candles on it.
I love it. I was in a class and one of our classmates, her sister made a vegan banana pudding cake.
Ooh,
and they was
nice.
like, you should try this. I was like, I don't want that air. Like, I'm
Real fat. It's real
I tried it and I realized, oh, this is how they get you. No, it doesn't have the eggs, it doesn't have the dairy, but it has a lot of sugar.
I got one in the fridge if you want to taste it. So sugary.
I ate that too. And I was like, this is great.
It does not taste like air.
Ain't no shame in that. All right, you guys, we like to give some mommy tips about stuff that we've learned along the way. So this one, I just found out about. It's called GiveBackBox.com. So you know, like we love Amazon and we get all those boxes from Amazon. But I have a problem because I be like, oh, now I gotta like open the box up, cut the box, flatten it, put it in the recycling, or like take it out with the trash. And because I just moved, I have a ton of boxes. So I found out if you go to GiveBackBox.com, save your Amazon boxes and put your donations in there. So if there's like baby clothes you need to give away, household items, whatever, and you were gonna donate them anyway, use these Amazon boxes. You can go to GiveBackBox.com, print out a label for free. And you can ship it like how you would ship like an Amazon return, same thing. You take a UPS and then they take care of the shipping and all that stuff. So it's like, oh, you killed two birds with one stone because you didn't just throw this box away like you usually do.
I feel so bad. I get so many boxes.
Well, girl,
I use Amazon like every.
Okay, so there you go. GiveBackBox.com.
I'm gonna do that.
There you go.
That's good. My mommy tip. A friend of mine recently just had her second baby, and she was like, "Look, when you have this baby, do not rush home." She was like, I regret rushing home. I was trying to get home to my first baby. I missed her. But, you know, you have nurses waiting on you. You have room service. You get your sheets cleaned and everything. Like, do not rush home. Just enjoy, you know, your time in the hospital. That was hard for me the first time because I was like, I'm trying to get to my bed. Like, why? The hospital was weird. I don't know. It's
I
like,
did the same thing.
I had to shower with my shoes on. But she was like, no, I wish I would have stayed a couple more days.
Because you have help. I was trying to walk. I don't know if I ever told you this because I know you had gone home, but the next day I was like walking through the halls with them. They were like, ma'am.
You're holding him.
Yeah, they were like, you can't do that. You can. I know. I was like, well, why is my baby? And I'm just walking down the hall to get some exercise. They were like,
to protect themselves. That's it. Like, why can't you walk?
Right.
That's why. And I was just like, this doesn't make sense. And she was like, I can get someone to push you around in a wheelchair. I was like, no, I just want to walk. They're like, no.
That's funny. No, she was just saying it was harder to recover because the first baby wants to jump on her. In her head, she's like, oh, I need to go do laundry. She was just thinking so much when she got home. And she could have stayed a couple more days. But she said it was just harder to recover.
I hear that a lot with saying, well, I find that first time moms are itching to get out because there's no rest in the hospital, right? They're turning on the lights, your blood pressure, pictures, birth certificates, and you can't rest. But I find with second time moms, third time moms, you're trying to soak up all that time because things are going to be
in there. Bring my pillows, bring my comfy PJs. I didn't really think about what I really needed the first time around.
Do you have any mommy tips for us?
Mommy tips. I'd say to collect a village. I think that's really important to have a village around you. Especially because now we're also separated from our families, right? So, you know, back in the days, like your mother would come over, your aunt, your sisters, and your cousins, but we're also dislocated. So to get a group of women or whoever to help to support you in that journey. That's a lot of support.
That's my tip. I keep hearing that.
Yes, that's for you, girl. Get a village.
Well, since you're on a break with us, this segment is called Let's Scroll, where we scroll through our timelines when we get that free time. On my timeline today, there was a vegan who is traumatized, basically. He went to Domino's, if I'm not mistaken, and they have 3 new, in Australia, this was in Australia, they have 3 new plant-based pizzas, and he ordered a ham pizza, fake imitation ham, and realized it was real ham.
Oh, they didn't have fake ham, or they just mixed it up?
They somehow mixed it up. Domino's said it wasn't the real stuff, and he said it was. And he just said, you know, after that, you know, he feels ashamed. He felt pain for the animal.
Did he get sick?
No, he just felt shame and pain for the animal.
Well, then it probably wasn't real ham. Because if it's real ham, you know, if you ain't ate pork in them a while and you eat it again, you always feel a little weird. Like your stomach.
I don't know how he came to the conclusion, but he was very upset about this. So is there anything, I mean, I'm predominantly vegan, but is there anything that you had that someone didn't tell you was vegan and you were like, wait, no, it's not, this is real?
No. Oh, I will say, well, not that, but I would, my mom being Korean, if we eat a lot of kimchi, I always thought kimchi was like vegan because it's like fermented pickled cabbage, right? Mm-hmm. Well, what I didn't realize is that they put a lot of like fish stuff in it.
The sauce, the fish sauce?
Not fish sauce.
Like
it's
tomato flakes or something.
Yeah. And so it's like, but it's like made from fish, and I was just like, what?
Fermented?
Yes. So you have to look for vegan kimchi. It has to say vegan, and so the whole time I was like pesca. I mean, granted, it was okay for me at the time because I was pesca vegan, but how was
vegan?
It's a thing. It's a thing. I thought I invented it. I thought I was like, you vegan, what you eat fish sometimes? No, it's a thing. It's from, and I was like, whoa, this whole time I've been eating all this kimchi, thinking there's always fish in it. I mean, it was okay for me, but
that's interesting.
Well, miso soup also has fish. They put tomato flakes to it.
Oh.
Sorry. You've been having all this.
You can probably find some vegan, but the bonito flakes, the fish flakes is what gives it.
What about the miso sauce? Like the paste?
No, that doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but you make the miso soup, you add the bonito flake, or it's already added into.
Interesting.
I'm also part Asian.
I know. See how we look
alike. I remember you guys telling me when she chose. Well, I just want to get her because she we got the same thing going on.
I know. I was like, the first thing that when I gave to her, she was like, "Are you Blasian?" I was like, "Yeah." That's the first thing out of her mouth. I was like, "Oh,
that's funny." Yeah. Well,
all right. So you know what? Andrey was my doula, and a lot of people are like, "Why should I get a doula?" or "Why is it important?" I will tell you, it was life changing for me. And I actually I partially credit Andrey for helping me with this because Mav was born, I labored at home. Oof. Like, I called her at like 9 a.m. that morning. I was like, I think my water's leaking. And Andrey was like, just go do whatever you typically do. Like, go
live your life.
Don't sit at home waiting around. She's like, do what you need to do because it's going to pick up later. So I did that. I went shopping. I took the dog to get groomed. I got my nails done. I was in the grocery store, hunched over, pushing the cart, having contractions, and was like, I should probably go home now. And I just was so afraid of going to the hospital too early and then having them put an IV and then all the bad stuff that can happen with them like pressuring you to get like meds. I didn't want that. So, but I did want to go to a hospital because it was my first baby and I was a little scared. But I will say because of her, I was able to stay at my house until like 8:50 p.m.
Pretty much. I mean,
yes, we got.
I remember the position you were in when I walked in the house.
I thought I was gonna die.
The sound she was making, I was like, oh, it's really close. This is happening.
And to the point where Andrey didn't even realize how far, because
what was the sound?
A lot of moaning, deep. I thought either she was very dramatic.
That too.
I was like, she's either dramatic or this is moving along pretty fast.
Right, because like Andrey was like, oh, I have to find somebody to watch my daughter tonight. Like she thought it was gonna take all night because typical 24 hours is typical for a first time mom, right?
24 hours plus.
No, I was like, I'm gonna die. She checked. She was like, Marlon, get the car ready. We gotta go. And I think we got to the hospital like 9:05. Matt was born at like 9:30.
Yes. And
so
like 10 centimeters, right?
When we got there, they were like 9 and a half. Yeah. Like, you're 9 and a half, man. We gotta go. We gotta push this baby out like now.
That was awesome.
Oh my God.
And it was, and it like just before before that actual day, I would just spend time with Andrey and she would just help me get prepared for this birth because it was the first time and I was like, I don't know. She was like, girl, you got too much in your head.
Right.
Yes. Too much and she just helped me to feel more confident about it.
Yeah.
And I really needed that and I feel like if I hadn't had her, I would have been at the hospital probably that morning as soon as my water started leaking. I would have been there all day with an IV, would have had to like push for hours and hours and hours. It would have been
me. Because I started off with, my prenatal yoga teacher was a doula. And we met with her. We didn't do the doula services, but I did all her yoga programs. I did all her parenting class. I did her mommy and me class, or with the husband and the
Was it
yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. So I went to all her programming, and I don't know why I didn't do it. I was being so cheap. I was being cheap because I could have did it. Yeah. So then when my water started leaking, I called because I didn't really know what I was supposed to do.
But the hospital will tell you come in.
They said come in. They did. So it was on my birthday. I went in And they'll go, yeah, you're not leaving here until you have this baby. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So obviously I stayed through the night. And then I had her the next day at like 6:17. But the funny thing was Terrell went outside to get something and he saw Kaya in the hall. And he's like, oh, she's in labor? So she came in. She was like, nope, get up. She got me up. What did we learn? Because she taught me a lot.
Yes.
You know, she just wasn't in the room with me.
Right.
But that time she was in there made the biggest difference because she made me get up. She made me squat. I was squatting. Water just broke.
Yeah.
Instantly broke. And she put my mom to work. She was like, here, take this warm towel. Because my mom's in there like, acting like she didn't have 5 kids. She gave my mom a job. She was like rubbing my hands and rubbing myself with a hot towel. Terrell, get up. I had Terrell like holding on to me.
Yeah.
So like just that time that she was there with her lavender oil, it was so magical. As soon as she left, because I didn't pay.
Changed.
What? I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die! And I got that epidural. I made it halfway. And I just gave in. And Terrell's like, no, you said no, you said no. I was like, no, I'm going to die. But the difference it made with her, just in her spirit, like with the peace that she brought, she said,
presence.
oh my gosh, it made I felt like I could do it.
Yeah.
So I need to, reconsider what I'm doing.
you should.
I mean, I've been to close to 700 births, and if I was pregnant, I would have a doula.
Really?
Why do you think women should choose a doula?
I think because it's nice to have someone that's not emotionally involved, that has the experience and the knowledge to help to keep you grounded. Sometimes they need to advocate for you.
Yeah.
For instance, if and what you learn leading up to the birth, remember I tell you, hopefully you forget all of this in the labor. Because if you're thinking about what you've learned about birth in the labor, we're going to be here for a long time.
Yeah.
Right? Because the thinking brain doesn't serve you. Like, you need to get into your primal vein and get into your body. And so, just having someone there that's knowledgeable, that can remind you that this is normal, that this is safe, can help you to stay grounded, because it's a very rare, we don't really get a lot of opportunities to be primal in real life, and so when we have that opportunity, it can be a little scary. You feel very vulnerable during that time.
Is true. So what do doulas do exactly? Because some people don't know.
Well, I think doulas, just in textbook terms, right? But we do so much more than that, right? So doulas are there for informational support, physical support, information, and then sometimes spiritual support. Like, we're there to hold space for the room, to advocate for the clients if we need to. Ideally, like I spend a lot of time with my clients, and ideally you have a care provider that is in alignment with your wishes. Yeah. But the unfortunate part is that when you get with the doctor and throughout the pregnancy, they're like, yeah, no problem. Yeah. And then you meet a different person at 40 weeks. Yeah. Right? The conversation changes, the experience in labor changes. So it's nice to have someone there also who is constant, right? Because you don't see your doctor in labor. And some women have doctors who are in practices where they interchange the doctors, so you never know who's going to show up. Yeah. Your nurses is only in the room for 12 hours. They're rotating, and that doula is the constant. And in addition to that, a lot of it happens at home, ideally. So who's at home with you, helping to take care of you and your partner and to ground you and things like that.
Do you notice while you're in the hospital with your client, there's a lot of pushback from the nurses and the doctors on the doula?
Not as much. Like, I've been doing this since 2006. Now, when I first started working at a doula, it was very different. I was in New York, and doctors would come into the room because a lot of them had never experienced a natural birth, a natural delivery.
Oh, wow.
So, but it's very different now because women are taking back their births. People are getting more informed. I think it's also outside of LA, like Cedars, UCLA, where a lot of women go with doulas. They have essentially trained the hospitals how to care for women who are wanting to have that type of birth experience. But you go out to Glendale, Anaheim, Downey, then it's a very different. It's a very different experience. And sometimes you have territorial nurses. Oh yeah. Sometimes there's just a lot of ego in the room, so it's important for that doula to know how to de-escalate situations. And sometimes I'll just sit in a corner and wait for them to leave out the room.
I would say when it was time to have Mav, it was just go. Like, I just remember they checked me, they were like, you're 9 centimeters. And I just remember a flurry of people like, go, 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 go. And the one calming presence I had was Andre. Because Marlon hadn't even come up from parking the car yet. Like, that's how fast. I thought he was texting my friends, like, Megan's at the hospital, we should have a baby soon. And like, he came upstairs and they had already moved me to the labor and delivery room, like legs ready to go, ready to push. And it was like, I remember Andre just being so calm, and she was, and I was losing it, y'all. I was like, I can't tell this, I'm gonna die. And she just was so like, you could do this. Get it together.
Yes. Did you get it together?
I mean, I had when she said that, I was like, you're right. But then like I was pushing, and I remember her telling me, stop pushing with your face, push with your butt.
Now why the blood broke?
And all my blood vessels all broke in my eyes, y'all. I looked like I was a zombie for about 3 weeks because I had no whites in my eyes. I had like, you could see all the capillaries broken in my face.
Yes,
she was like, stop pushing with your face, push with your butt. And I go, I don't know the difference.
I think I was being a little kinder.
She probably was, but in my head it was just like, but I was like, I don't know what the difference is. I'm just pushing.
Yeah.
But you do know that, like when you poop, you don't go. You do.
Yes. You don't move your legs. It's like you use every muscle you're gonna use to have, like, to birth a 7-pound turd.
Yeah.
Nothing else, right? So sometimes if we're supporting a mother's leg, if I have to use my muscles to keep her, then I'll pop her like, hey, nope, in your butt, you're pushing in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Because you're burning energy, you're wasting energy.
I was wasting everything, okay? I wasted blood vessels, I did everything wrong.
And when women are screaming, I'll often like put my hand on their heart and tell them, feel my hand on your heart, because you're in your head when you're screaming, and that's fear, and you're running from the sensation. So my goal is to help to get you to go downward. Everything is downward, and to get back into your body.
Well, it worked, because that baby came out after like 15 minutes of pushing. I didn't have to have an IV. I didn't have like any kind of meds. Very natural.
Would you do it natural again?
Yeah, but this time I would probably do like a water birth. I would do home birth.
I mean, honestly, this next time you'll probably have like a 4-hour labor.
What?
Yes.
Oh, then sign me. Yeah, Marlon. Hello. You can have another baby. That's fast.
Yeah. But people think they want a shorter birth, but the truth is that it's more intense, right? Because you were in labor for what, like 10 hours, if that, right? So you get all that
back labor at that.
Back labor. Which is incredible that you birth so fast with back labor. That's when the baby is malpositioned. You're feeling all the contractions in your back. That's labor to the 10th power. It's a very unfair labor experience. But you'll get all that you got in 10 hours compacted into 3 to 4. So what I often hear second time moms say, what they say more often than anything is, I need a minute. Right? Because it's just happening. It's too intense and too fast, right? So then, once again, it's like helping you to ground, getting your body, reminding you that this is normal, and to just create space for the baby.
Ooh. Can you move to Atlanta so you can be my doula?
I'm just sitting here.
I do travel.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Because you're neat, I'm telling you. And like, so talk to me about like because I know when I talked to you, you had a birth, like you went through basically like a birth plan of like stuff that I should think about that I want. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad you did that, because at the hospital, I feel like they're always more concerned about liability, and they're always concerned about making sure that they cover their butts. Mm-hmm. So that's not necessarily the best thing for you. Like, for example, I didn't want them to cut the cord until it stopped pulsing. And that was something that I had to tell. And I didn't think about that. I think that was something that you asked me.
Yeah.
What are some other things that patients should be, or women should be aware of? Okay. Like they should advocate on their behalf and say, I want this, and this.
So first of all, I think that you should research what the protocols are in the hospital, and to also remember that the hospital policies and protocols are not the law. Right. This is your body, your baby. You get to make the choices for yourself, right? So things about, like doing your research, like are IV fluids in labor necessary? Yeah. What are the benefits or the risk of doing that? Do you want Pitocin? Are you okay with Pitocin? Reading about the risk of Pitocin. What are the risks of the epidurals, right? And they're fine. Like everything has its place in labor. I just don't like when people are being misled and pushed into doing these interventions that are probably unnecessary. What that person probably needs is time or space, right? And then you want to look at what are the normal protocols for the babies. Like most people have no idea these things that they want to introduce to the baby after the birth, like erythromycin, which is the antibiotic eye ointment, vitamin K shots. They're now wanting to give babies hepatitis B vaccinations at the birth. There's the newborn screen. So, some people really do think, they think that I'm just going to go into the hospital and come home with the baby, and there's so much leading up to and in that experience that you can prepare for, like just doing a little research and speaking to other moms. I think also moms should talk to their friends more, their friends and their aunts and their nieces about what to expect in the hospital, and more importantly, when you bring that baby home. Yeah, a lot of people don't prepare for that part.
So what's a postpartum doula, and why is it necessary to have?
A postpartum doula, the role of the postpartum doula is to come in and to nurture the mother, right? To nurture the mother without judgments or without our own agenda, right? So when I come into a home as a postpartum doula, my goal is to work myself out of a job from when I first arrived, right? So it's not my responsibility to take care of the baby. It's to help to encourage you and give you the confidence to take care of the baby, to make sure that you're nourished, that you're fed, that you have a place to, like sometimes that postpartum visit could look like me holding a mother for 15 minutes while she cries, right? Because that experience, especially for the first 2 weeks, is very vulnerable and fragile. And so it's a lot of breastfeeding support, or even feeding, because breastfeeding is not for every family. I think it's important to know that it's not for everyone. Right? And so to provide non-judgment with that, to normalize the experience physically, emotionally, spiritually, and also to normalize the baby's experience with their growth spurts and bowel moves and things like that. But primarily our role is to nurture the mother, to nourish the mother so that she can take care of.
What does that look like?
Family.
I feel like I needed that, but I don't know what that even looks
like. So that looks like, coming in and like feeding the mother, like I'll prep foods. I will sometimes, like have the mother get in the shower and I change her bed linen. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like light housekeeping, washing the baby's laundry, folding it, putting it away, giving techniques for soothing babies. Sometimes it looks like me braiding a mother's hair. Yeah. Like I said, it's like holding space for her, allowing her to have that experience without judgment, not telling her how she should do things, but opening up the possibilities and the options that she may not have considered. But I always tell moms, listen, you'll hear different things from different places, and you have to think about what resonates with you and go with that, right? Your intuition is very valuable in that time, and I always tell people that's God speaking to you. So,
I wish I had you. I'm sure there's too much going on. It's so chaotic when you get home. It's insane. It's excitement. It's great excitement, but it's just a lot.
Yes, but I think with my clients before, like I have a client now, they're expecting twins in December, so I went and met with them last week, and I go through my client's baby registry. I'm like, you don't need that, that's extra, right? Like this might be helpful. And then also talking about what to expect, because most people plan for the birth, and the truth is that the birth is the easy part. It's when you bring that baby home, that's when you meet the most challenges.
That's the hardest part. One thing I want to ask you is about placenta eating. What is the benefit? Why do people want to do it? And then is there, like, should you do it if that's something that you're considering?
I was like, you should do it if you feel like it's right for you. Right. So it's placenta encapsulation. The placenta, first of all, there's only 3 mammals that don't eat the placentas. It's whales, dolphins, and humans. I believe humans probably ate our placentas at one time.
Ooh,
yes, right. And the Catholic Church probably said that's barbaric. Don't do that. But it makes sense. The placenta is full of iron, B12, B6, stress-reducing hormones. It can be helpful to balancing out your hormones. Be helpful with mood swings, milk production. Yeah, and it's a sacred organ. You know what I mean? Like it's something your baby created, and it's known as the tree of life, right? And so, and if you don't, even if you're not going to ingest it, consider taking it home and burying it and planting a tree over it, putting it in your garden if you have access to that. If let's say you don't have your own yard at that time, you can put it in the freezer and keep it there until you do. because in the hospital they're gonna put it in a biohazard bag and burn it.
And that just seems like, even if you're not into that, I just like, just knowing they're just gonna like burn your. I should have done it. I planned on it, and then something, I don't know, towards the end I was just like, I can't do it.
So what's the process of getting it in pill form?
So we'll take it home, and then, like, once again, I treat it as a sacred organ, so I sanitize my entire kitchen.
Yeah.
I used to be very mindful even the music that I play when I listen to it, and then one day Biggie played, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I should be listening to this. And then he said, I get deeper your placenta. And I was like, okay, we're good. So I swear it happened right in that moment, just as I was like, maybe I should change this. He said that. So, and then I speak to it as I do, like I'm in herbalism school now, like really everything has energy, like a spirit in it. So I speak to it in regards to helping to heal the mother and heal the baby. And so I remove the membranes, cut the cord, drain the blood out of it. And there's two methods. You can do TCM, which is traditional Chinese medicine. And in that situation, you actually steam it with some herbs to help to make it warm with the ingestions, or you do the raw method, which is really my go-to. And that's what we take in this raw space, and then we slice it and put it on the dehydrator. And once it's dehydrated,
like beef jerky.
Exactly.
Do you cook anything else in there?
No.
Oh.
I keep my placenta equipment separate from home, right? And then, although it's not, like if you had some type of disease, they wouldn't allow you to take it home.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like if you have an infection during the labor, then we can't take that placenta home.
Yeah.
So, but no, I don't use it. I don't use it for my home. Any of the tools that I use for the encapsulation.
Yeah, when she told me that, she was like, dehydrated. I was like, my mom has one. We make beef jerky.
But essentially, that's what it is. So I dehydrate it, and then once it's dried, I ground it into a powder form, and I put it in vegetable capsules. And the amount of pills you get is based on the size of the placenta, which is usually in relationship to the baby. I could also tell a lot about the mother's diet by her placenta.
Really?
Yeah, what do you mean circulation? Because the placenta looks different, right? So if you have a placenta that's pretty fat and big, it could be a sign of cardiovascular issues for the mother, or poor nutrition. Because what happens is the placenta gets bigger and bigger because it's saying like, I need more. Versus if you have a mother who eats healthy, it's often more flat. It just looks different. It's thinner. It looks healthier.
Huh.
Wait,
Right?
did you see mine? What was mine?
No, I didn't do your placenta.
Oh, that's right. I took a picture. Huh?
You know how you ate.
No, I actually ate really good. I think that's why Mav was like smaller, and he was like 5 pounds 14 ounces, and I was like, wait, everybody in my family has big babies, but I think it's because their diet. But I ate vegan like 3 to 4 times a week. So I think that's why maybe he was smaller. But I have a picture of it. It looks like flat. It was flat and healthy.
Yeah, then that means that it was tight.
It was tight.
I think I'm gonna do it.
You are? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'll help with like postpartum anxiety too, right?
Sometimes. Yeah, I mean, sometimes that can be helpful, but sometimes you do need an extra layer of support.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you need to speak to someone. There's also, herbal remedies, homeopathic I recommend to my clients as well. There's different herbs that you can use to help with other situations as well. But
I might get these pills.
yeah, I had one mother, I thought it was so smart. She went into her mom's group and she said, I only want to hear from moms who maybe did it with one child and didn't do it with the other. Was there a difference? Mm-hmm. She said all but one said that they had more energy, they recovered faster, and they felt better emotionally. The one who didn't have that experience, they made her nauseous.
Oh, I heard that before.
Yes, but it could be psychosomatic, right?
Yeah.
You smell it and that's a placenta.
It smells.
So. It doesn't smell, but it definitely has a scent.
Yeah.
So just don't put the jar to your nose.
Ooh!
I think I'm gonna do it.
You should.
I'm gonna do it.
You should do it. Is it weird to have somebody else's placenta? Like, could I take her placenta pills?
You can, but we wouldn't advise it.
I'm gonna get one of Megan.
Oh God! Sometimes the dad tries it, or the partner.
He was all for it. I thought you were gonna take the placenta. Let's put it in a smoothie. Like what? I'm not putting it in a smoothie. I ain't doing the smoothie.
Marlon is opposite. He won't even taste my breast milk, and he's like, oh my God, on me. I'm like, it is breast milk, Marlon. Even to this day, he was like, oh, that breast milk almost touched me. I'm like, no.
That's funny. Okay, so mark my word, I'm gonna do the placenta pillows.
Right.
Yes. Because you can always have them done and try it, and you could decide it's not for me. And then, you know, do you know what you're having yet?
Yes.
A girl?
I can't say yet.
Because you can give it to your daughters. Like, you could save it for menopause. You can save it because if you have girls or even boys, they make it.
Wow.
So when your daughters go through puberty, you can give it to them. You can save it for menopause because they'll last in your freezer.
What?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
What do you wish more women knew about the whole entire birthing process?
I wish more women knew how strong they are. Yeah. But they learn that in the process of labor. But I wish more women went into it knowing really how strong and powerful we are.
Oh, that's good, because the fact that I went through back labor, did it naturally, labored at home, mostly by myself. I just was like to me, that's somebody who's strong. I didn't realize that I could do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can do anything now.
But I told you, remember I told you Asian women don't play. Yes, Asian women don't play. So oftentimes they're like, oh, I got a job to do, let's do it. Right?
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Andrey. Before we get out of here, just tell everybody where they can find you if they want to use your services or just, talk to you about some stuff.
So you can find me at on Instagram at Miss Lemon Honey, right? I'm not a birth junkie though. You won't see a lot of birth things on my Instagram page. I'm working on my website now, but you can always find me at Yelp at Lemon and Honey Doula.
Yeah, I gotta get this placenta dehydrated.
Yes, and get yourself a doula. It's gonna change your experience.
I think I'm gonna do it.
Yes, I think it enhances your experience. And I'll tell you honestly, so many fathers or partners after birth have said it's the best money we spend throughout the entire pregnancy. The best money. Yeah, it's a good investment. It's invaluable.
Yeah,
it is.
Okay, I'm gonna do it, guys. So our last segment is called I'm Fine. We like to leave you with some inspiration to remind you that, Mama, you are fine. Yes. We got you. We're here. So today Megan has a quote.
I do. It says, "For when a child is born, the mother also is born again," and that's by Gilbert Parker. And that was it. I like that quote because I felt like when my son was born, I felt I just felt new. I felt different. I felt this is a whole new experience. This is a whole life-changing chapter of my life. So I think when you forget that and you get in your head about stuff, then you forget you were made for this. You can do this. Your child is going to flourish. Everything's going to be fine. You forget that. So you have to remember that. Okay, I'm being reborn again. As with my child, we're both learning. We both just need to be open. So yes, thank you. All right, you guys, it's been great. Thank you so much for taking a break with us. You can always find us at M&AB Podcast all over the internet. And I am Megan Thomas at Meg Scoop all over the internet.
And I'm Marisa Johnson at She Is Marisa J.
And one last time, where can people find you?
I am Andrey Lemon at Miss Lemon Honey.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Bye. Get a doula.